Results for this morning. Should the scrap iron sector be scrapped or shut down? We had 25 people voting on the poll this morning. 19 of them said yes, it should. 6 said no, it shouldn't. So the vast majority were of the opinion, of course, that it should be shut down.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess because of the incidents, and I think somebody would have lost their life attempting to steal cable at one time, if I remember.
All right. Well, we do have Alan Ferguson, the president of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association. Alan, good morning.
Good morning to you all, and good morning to your listeners.
All right. We do have Paul Richards, Wendell Stephen, and Richard Ragoobarsingh with us this morning.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Richardson, and thanks for joining us.
Did you hear the results of our poll?
Yeah, I was listening, and you expect it. You expect that because sometimes because people know some people in Trinidad don't understand the industry.
Right, I'm glad you said that. Explain how the industry works for us, because I don't understand either.
Yeah, you see,
Mr. Ferguson.
for years we was lobbying and lobbying governments upon governments. In 2011, when I came the president, I had immediately put a team together to make sure that we put things in place for a symposium that we would have in 2012 when we lobbied the government to try to regulate this industry. We would say the guys with the vans, they would have had to have a license to collect license to able to just not to just come off the streets and just go and pick up things and bring it to our yards. They will have to have a license. They have to go through a certain kind of make sure that they bonify in picking up scrap iron. But you see now, a lot of people could just come off the street. They didn't want to be no scrap dealer. Go and steal something and bring it to our yards. And sometimes some of our members who is scrap dealers, it's just about a few of them will probably be in this stealing thing.
Mr. Ferguson, so how does it work? People bring scrap iron. What is called or classified as scrap iron to you? You buy it from them, you melt it down, and you export it to whom? Or sell it to whom?
Well, we a lot of places, Taiwan, India, Pakistan, Turkey. We export it to a lot of countries out of Trinidad. But let me just explain to Trinidad. When you come into our yard, you will have to show your driver's permit, your ID card, or whatever identification you have. If you're the owner of the scrap, if the scrap look like something new, something looks stolen, then you will have to say where you get it from. And if you cannot say where you get it from, or you don't have a receipt that you purchased it from a company, whatever it is, the scrap dealer supposed to not purchase it and allow you to.
So what if they say somebody gave it to me?
Well, if they say somebody give it to you, you still need to have some kind of proof that somebody give it to you. Somebody could give you some kind of a receipt saying that whatever in it and identify what is it.
And when you get it, is it that you melt it down before you sell it overseas?
No. We just prepare it. Hello?
Before we go to the melting down part, you said just now that someone will bring scrap iron to you, and some of the iron may look new, so you may be suspicious about it, right? And
yes.
And you won't take it. But do you report it? Would the scrap iron dealers report, listen, somebody just brought iron to me, I suspect that it's stolen, and especially in the case that is illegal, do you report it? That's what we try. That's how we could fix this, eh? Because if you just...
Well, let me explain. Just recently, we had a sting operation that a company, a security company, bring a lot of copper in our yard, and we had a sting operation with the police, and the police had hold the security officers on them, and that was it. That's all we hear about it. We ain't know if they were being charged or whatever, but we does it. We sometimes, based on our communication with one another, we say, listen to me. Someone now come to our yard with a certain item, and we identify them, and we make a network with in some around some of our yard, so they will come to our yard sometimes with it. But what's going on also that Trinidad need to know, it have some foreigners that operate in our yards in our country. That we lobby, we put all kind of necessary thing in place because they don't know what is TSCT wire, they don't know what is this, they don't know what is that, and them just keep on buying, no matter what it is. Sometimes, and then we you see, when these foreigners come here,
foreigners? What do you mean by foreigners operating as scrap iron dealers? Is that what you're saying? We have foreigners.
Yeah, we don't know sometimes where they get the license from video. We don't understand how the license being how they're able to get these licenses, because the amount of pressure we as local to spend to get these licenses, we don't know how them get these licenses. And that's a different topic, but what I'm trying to say, they don't understand our culture here. So they just purchase whatever it gets. We have been make a lot, we have sit down with them, because sometimes we bring them to Trinidad to purchase from us. And they come and they set up there, because when they come here, they set up scrap yards. When they set up scrap yards now, they put us in a lot of problems with just purchasing all kind of things. We had to sit down and talk to them all how. And it has a year that when we find it was going so bad, we had a meeting in the Ministry of Trade with them. And we had told them, you come here to purchase from us. We weren't able to purchase, we weren't able to buy the price that y'all purchasing, because y'all is the one that we selling to. So it is a lot of things happening in this industry that need to stop and regulate, so we could able to run this industry good.
How many dealers are in your membership? What's the size of your membership?
All right. Well, if you ask me about 2 months ago, I will tell you 136. But the way it is now, it climbed up to probably 220. So we have about 220 something members who have yards around Trinidad and Tobago. That's how it looks like now.
So, Alan, let me ask you a question. This church bell was now taken. Is it that it's now going to a scrap iron dealer? Is it that it's now going to be placed into a container and shipped out? And nobody's checking anything apart from the dealer?
One of the things that I did yesterday is I had a news conference and I apologized. But remember, you know how things run in Trinidad. If I is a thief in my village and something missed, they say it's me. Now we only go in at the call that they believe is a scrap dealer take it. And we had to say, all right, we apologize because we feel that it's a scrap dealer who take it. But what about if it's not a scrap dealer who take it? Because you know Trinidad is, anything miss whatever it is, they will say a scrap dealer because it's iron. Look like some people, they might miss a bucket.
But Alan, let's go back.
It's been there for 153 years, and who else would want, what other use would there be for a church bell?
No, well, you know the business. You understand. If you understand Trinidad, I'm not saying that a scrap dealer don't take it in. I don't want you and your listeners take me wrong. I am not saying that. But what I'm saying that yes, if a scrap dealer take it is wrong, and if a scrap dealer carry a yard and the yard purchase it, it's also wrong. I am not going to sit and say that if something is wrong, I'm trying to defend it. I will never do that. If you know me, I just call a spade a spade. I'm not into.
How is this? What is the cost of the iron when you're selling it? I'm talking legitimately now. What is the cost? Is it that you sell by the square meter, the pound, the kilogram? How is it done?
Yeah, like a manhole cover.
What's the cost? No, I don't want a manhole cover. I want to know what the cost of the how is it sold?
It works by the ton. You see, if you bring, you have so much of things set up. Manhole cover. No yard is supposed to be purchasing manhole cover at all because we discuss all these things in meeting. They ain't supposed to be my manhole cover. If somebody bring that bell into my yard, that bell could never pass my security because the moment they raise up the tarpaulin cover from the van for my security sending them back out.
What's the cost of a ton of scrap iron?
Right now the price is very low. About a month ago it was about $2,200 a ton. Today now is about 1,900 and 1,200.
Is that TT or US dollars?
TT.
Okay.
So the
But
price
it's
is
iron,
very
so a ton, it could rack up a ton quite quickly.
And you know where that cause the copper. You know where that cause the copper. The same tier city copper that people stealing all around Trinidad. About a month ago, the reason what was causing all that problem, the copper was about $55,000 a ton. And if you know what is that, that is plenty money. So that is why the copper was moving out the copper plenty because it was a very high price at that time. Now it's just about probably about $20,000 a ton because all recycling price went down because of the world market right now.
Yeah, but Mr. Ferguson, are you? I listened to you, and are you suggesting or intimating that maybe the scrap iron industry also being set up to look bad by people who may want it shut down? I want to give you the benefit of the doubt in that case because I know that you all are under pressure and I know that you all have been fighting a battle. Are you suggesting that the remove, because I heard you when you referenced the bell in particular, right? That it don't have to be a scrap iron stealer bell, right? A scrap iron dealer stealer bell. Are you suggesting that you all may be being set up?
No, well, you always hear in talk that other big company want to come in Trinidad and take over certain things. And because our country is like not America or our next big country, how this recycling thing set up in Trinidad, one company could really come and take it over because we do have a mill here right now. And a lot of things, it's very hard to explain to your listeners, but I could tell you, if a big company get away in Trinidad, yeah, they could take over because you see, they could, if there is a company operating like a mill and they come to just open up companies, say, open up here, and the price them paying, we weren't able to pay the price, so they will control the market. The only market is now everybody could be able to survive based on different yards. But if it happen, or if say somebody say, hey, we're going to allow this company to come to Trinidad and set up, yeah, we could lose this industry bad. Not it cannot happen in places like America or England or all in places because they full of mills and different big companies operating there. But Trinidad, it could happen.
Yeah. Tell me something, because Paul kept asking about the melting of the iron. You all don't actually melt it, right? You all actually send it out as raw material, not so?
Yeah, we does not do no melting here in Trinidad. What we do, if you come in the yard with a piece of a pipe, we just use a pipe. We have to put it in a certain size because of the regulation in packing container in the scrap industry. So we will cut it up to the size and make sure it go into and put in the container. That's how we have to do it. But we don't do no melting here. We don't have no steel plant here to do that. We not operating at all like that. We have machinery. What we will have is machinery now to pack containers to make it a much easier job for us. Instead of we pack it with our hands, most of the big companies now in Trinidad have a machine called a loader that pack a container real fast.
Mm-hmm. And when's the weighing of the iron done?
Well, what we have, most of the yards, they have large scales that is 50 feet long, 60 feet long. Some of them are 20, 30 feet long, so they could able to weigh the containers in the yard before it go to the port. Most of the yards have that time of scale. So we weigh the vans and then when they come in our yard too, because you need to know how much material the vans will have in it, and then that's how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Mr. Ferguson, would you have the information as to how much iron has been exported or is exported on a monthly basis, and if that has increased in the last couple of months?
Well, I'm going to give you the whole. Out of Port of Point, Lisas and Port of Spain, we sell the most containers every single month. So that is why when we tell you thousands and thousands of people employed in this industry, that is why we could show we is one of the industry that we export a lot of containers out of Trinidad and Tobago. And just recently, about a month or more, the Minister of Trade has said since 2019 to 2022, the scrap industry have improved for 47%. It has nothing to do with people who steal in copper, Remember, the copper and this copper that's going out with steelstone is only about 4 to 5 to 6 years the most this export copper out of Trinidad. And why when I asked for a ban of the copper until we could sit down with the government and straighten out this issue of copper, we will have sit down with them and say, listen to me, you don't have a way that we could stop this step that's taking place. All the government needs us to do at that time when I asked for it is listen to me. When a container copper has to pack in a container, all you need is a custom officer, a custom officer to be there and a police officer, because it's not plenty. It's not going to be about 10 containers full.
So what's happening right now? So explain to us what's happening now. You take your iron, your product to the port, and what happens now? Is it that you declare this is 2 tons of copper or 3 tons of 3 tons of iron or whatever the product is? And you sign the declaration. How does it work presently?
It work. You pack in copper. Have to pack in a copper container, and an iron of scrap iron goes separate. If you're going with aluminum, most people go with it separate. You could probably mix aluminum and brass and all them sort of things together. But when you're dealing with copper, it's copper alone, because it goes to a different company. The steel company purchase steel. They're not.
So do you declare that at the customs area when you're exporting it?
No, well, as I mentioned, custom does not come to see when we pack in. They used to do it long time, but because of we stretch out all over Trinidad. You could imagine people pulling containers, 200 and something yards pulling containers.
So what I'm trying to get at is who supervises what is exported. So you have a product that you have to put on a ship for export. When you get there, is it that you declare, I have 2 tons of copper, 2 tons of steel, and the customs area checks it, or no one checks? That's what I'm trying to get at.
You have documents will tell you, you have documents say this is scrap iron and you have 21 tons or whatever in the container. That's the kind of documents we do for them, brokers, and then do the documents, and then it will go to the port and they will clear it, and it will able to ship out of Trinidad and Tobago. But we never have this kind of problem, You have to remember, this is an industry with we run for years with all this problem, and Trinidad and Tobago need to understand, because of the state of this country. That is why we will be going through a lot of this problem that we're going through. This is the only industry that poor people have, that they could come off the street and go to a yard with a piece of iron, honest, if they want honest dollars. All these fellas all over Trinidad working in these dumps, when bands come and they select and they sort out scrap iron and they come to our yard to sell it, they're able to feed their family.
And I agree with that, but the issue now is that it's gone past an honest dollar to a dishonest dollar, and they steal. Some people, I stress some people, are stealing and messing up telecom, messing up WASA, a church bell has gone missing, so it's no longer everybody making an honest dollar.
Yeah, I think it's because of the.
I want to ask you all, right? I want to ask you all, before I answer that question, the amount of killing going on in Trinidad and Tobago now, I find this will be every ban the killing too. Every ban the killing. The amount of people stealing vehicles all over Trinidad. Every ban cars. If we go to continue saying, because of something going on, and we ain't straightening it out, because we have a country that we look for the easiest way. Now there's there's certain problems that we could run into if we stop all export
Okay,
iron.
so clearly because it's your industry and it feeds families, some legitimately, a lot legitimately, what would you like to happen moving forward?
Yeah. How would you like to see this thing fixed?
I love that question. This is what Trinidad and Tobago need to understand. Since 2012, we lobbying all governments since that time to now to regulate this industry, to make it a better industry. If you watch and you see all my programs and television and all the things, all I am trying to do for as the president of this association is to try to regulate this industry.
How would you like to see it regulated? What are the measures you'd like to see put in place?
Well, one of the things that the major problems that we have in is that people who come in off the street could just come here with a van tomorrow and just go and steal somebody's thing and then come into our yard. Now, scrap iron, people need to understand too. If you come to our yard with old scrap iron, if you steal that, how we could have checked that scrap iron is stolen. So it's very difficult for us all to, Trinidad need to understand why does have dishonest people in our industry, which is any industry have dishonest people too, but our industry have some, just a handful of dishonest people would purchase anything. But majority, I could tell you, I just move all around Trinidad, talking to all them scrapyards and them to stay away from purchasing things that you do, things that you believe are stolen. I just do it all off.
So you want sellers of scrap iron to be licensed? Is that what you're saying? To have a permit?
And them, the vans and them, and then the yards. We have some this weekend. We will be sitting down with the executive to try to, because we're meeting the government next week, to able to send some recommendation that could all this sort of theft that taking place will be theft of the past. But so what we're trying to do is that this weekend we're sitting down, because we know the industry, we know, Let me tell Trinidad and Tobago something, When we go Singapore in recycling conference in the world, where people from all over the world who are involved in recycling, you know what they just tell us as Trinidadians? Because of our experience and knowledge in this industry, we shall be the leaders of this region. The last time that we went, we were so appointed the leaders of this region here, and because of the COVID, because they didn't have no the recycling conference that they could have voted in us, because we were done selected as leaders of this region. Trinidad and Tobago, we have a lot of experience in this industry that y'all don't understand. Yes, we're going through a problem because of how Trinidad law is, but we have really...
When are you meeting with the government? When next week?
We probably will know by probably today or Monday or whatever it might be. They just tell us that we will meet with them next week. So the whole situation is that when we meet with the government around this time now, we will be able to straighten out this industry, as long as the government is ready to work with us to able to straighten out this industry. This industry have a lot of things that it could just run just so normal. And these things, when these things happen, it causes a lot of lawless things. And you cannot watch us as scrap dealers and scrap as the association and blame us because of what's going on in this country. There's a lot of lawless thing going on here. And because of this bring a little food to people. This is what they will do to it. Because why? It have some people in our industry, a handful of them, that dishonest and they're causing harm up to our industry, and we want to make sure that when we put the rules that these people wouldn't be able to operate, else if they want to operate, they must be able to operate in a straight and a correct way, else they will have to...
Would you be willing to take some calls from our listeners, Mr. Ferguson?
No problem, man. I ready. I running at all from that.
Yeah. Mr. Ferguson,
of course, you join us on Zoom as well to ask your question as well to Mr. Alan Ferguson. 222-8255, 612-8255. Toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, our Zoom link is on our YouTube page, which we are streaming right this minute. Go ahead, Wendell.
Yeah, Mr. Ferguson, I'm hearing your passion. I'm understanding your point of view. but we have a problem that needs to fix. And the way the realization, the reality is that this problem has gotten out of hand largely because the industry has not been regulated and the leaders in the industry have fallen down on the job. You referred to 2012 when you started to make representation on behalf of the industry. Well, at that time, people were pillaging our country, so they really couldn't care about pillaging scrap iron. But we had to fix it because I wouldn't like to see people out of a job. That's the last thing anybody would like to see at this point in time. That people who could make an honest dollar out of a job. You understand? But it had to be fixed because we can't have this.
I want to ask you a question before you go, because I like what you're saying, but the thing about it is that we, as a scrap dealer, we don't have the power to change it. We could only recommend to the government, which we have been doing since 2012, recommending to the government, listen to me, we shall do this, we shall license this one, we shall do this, we shall do this. And up to today, we still waiting on it. So why you want to, because you see what's taking place in the country, you want to blame us. Because
no, the government has to take some responsibility because they have allowed it to get out of hand.
Let me explain to you all, to Trinidad and Tobago. I have been lobbying and begging since this thing started to ban the copper for a little while. Stop the export of the copper for a little while, because until we sit down with the government and straighten out the situation, up to now, we didn't get no response.
So, Alan, let me ask you a question. You want to stop copper. Won't the dealer now stockpile all this copper until the market open back up? Wouldn't that what they do?
That is why I told you, because people will bring this question to me. Very easy to answer this. No, you weren't able to pack no cup TSCT copper in no container, because it will have somebody guiding and watching what you're packing now, because we would have sit down and put things in place to make sure that was going on, because it just ruthless. You could just steal a lot of things and put it in a container because nobody watching, nobody supervising.
All right.
Alan,
let's grab some calls. I have a lot of calls coming through. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead.
Studio. Yes, rain is pouring here.
Yes,
so
go ahead with your question.
You will hear me. Morning to your guest, Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. It is not a handful of dishonest people in the scrap industry. It's many. They are making all these good ones look bad. And I want to blame the police. They could stop this. I'm blaming TSTT also. You're leaving all these copper, all you want to go wireless, leaving all the wires hanging. Some of them ain't even disconnected yet, and they're climbing up, disconnecting people. When they come and they cut the unmanned cable or the unused cable, you'll need to put... I always say, when the police want to find a stolen car, check the scrap yards. And,
all right.
And they got plenty. So the police need to step up the game and do spot checks, and they go find plenty. They might find the bell still. I ain't think it leave Trinidad yet. Ridiculous.
All right. Thank you, Digger Martin. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Miss Hampton, morning.
Morning, Mr. Ferguson. I think his cry is too late. I was in St. Augustine yesterday, and a whole 2 block, about 24 iron was missing, and you could see where they changed the iron to they put cement. It's too late. Scrap the scrap and let them feel it in their pocket on the table, and then
but it might have one of your family that is depend on this industry to live. So when you ban it, because we can't straighten it out, we must ban it. It has some of your family. It could be your family. It could be your friend that you know that is depend on this industry. Because this is the only industry remaining. Poor people could get something, and not because we have a problem in this country. We must just leave it there. So yes, we must learn to fix problems, not run away from the problem.
Yeah, but Alan, this has been happening for too long and nothing is being done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that
thousands of people are being.
Listen to me. If you hear the cry that I make all over racks and else, because we cannot do it on our own. We cannot go to Parliament and amend the act of the Scrap Iron Act. We cannot do that. All we could do is recommendation. I have recommendation from since 2012. What you want us to do as scrap dealers, not because we have 2 or 3 or 4, whoever amount that bad. We must scrap this industry. We employ thousands of people who work honestly every single day. We must not do that. We must work with the government to stop this step. It could stop. It could stop.
All right. I think, we have any other call?
Yeah, I have one. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, Paul Wendell.
Morning, Gemma.
Good morning.
Morning, Gemma.
Morning, Mr. Ferguson. You know what I'm wondering? I'm not accusing anybody. What is told the bell in the Anglican Church for? What that bell is over 100 years. And I'm wondering what is told it for. I'm not accusing anybody because I don't know who take it. I'm just asking that question this morning. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gemma.
Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just got a little...
He's a long distance call. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, I have just one request. Do all the efforts that you have, concentrate on all the efforts that you have, and you knew, and all the past experience that you have, find that bell back. It is a heritage aspect of our country, okay? Regardless of who take it, wherever they take it, you got a lot of leads, you know a lot of leads, you're in this business long before. This situation with people stealing and coming and people are buying all those metals from whoever, wherever, it's been happening way too long. This cry, it's your call now. Find our bell. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good call. That's a good call. You see, certain crimes when they are committed, and in this case, 150.
I didn't hear nothing the guy says. So I don't know.
The guy is basically saying that use the experience that you have in the scrap iron industry and knowing the main players to find the bell. Basically, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, return the bell to the church.
Yeah, well, we decided that we will today we will decided to do something. But if you know, it's since the 4th, and we only recognize that happened probably yesterday. But if you know, it's since about the 4th of this month, it's gone. So it probably could be very hard if it's gone to a scrapyard. But we will sit down and decided what we will do. We will have to find something.
Well, unless Mr. Ferguson, unless they melt the bell, it must turn up some way, and it can't be exported because it's a bell that the whole country knows is missing now. So it's, as the caller said, you have a network that you can lean on. You have people who talk to people in the network, and you can get some intelligence.
Mr. Richards, let me explain something to you. If something being stolen on the 4th, that could go in a container tomorrow. Tomorrow, meaning that the 5th, and then out of Trinidad on the 6th. Today we probably about what date we is? We 16, 17, whatever day.
So you're saying that the process moves that quickly?
Yes, it moves that quickly. It is supposed to. But some people, because we recommend to the government that when you come into our yard and you sell anything, it remain on the ground for 7 days. That any problem, like anybody stole anything, that if it remain on the ground for 7 days and you come in the yard, you could see it. You're only allowed to pack containers with material that pass more than 7 days.
So you're saying that bell could be somewhere in the world already? That what you're saying?
It could be not in the world, because it is most of the time from Trinidad it take about 7 to 6 weeks to reach wherever it reaches.
But it could be out of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ship somewhere.
No. We don't know.
All right. I think I have a call online, Alan. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, San Fernando. Go ahead.
James, the bell is iron, and the bell is the straw
No, the
that
bell is
broke
not
the
iron. The
camel.
bell is oh God.
Copper.
No,
Is
not
it copper?
The bell will be copper.
Some sort of metal.
Well, the
It's
bell
not.
is
It's
the
not
straw that
steel.
broke the
It's not
camel's
steel. It's
back.
something more expensive than is of course. It's brass. It's something like brass.
Brass.
Thank you, San Fernando.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's not steel. It's not steel.
All right.
That's not steel.
All right, Lincoln, good morning to you and a happy birthday to you. You join us via our YouTube channel and via our Zoom link. Good morning.
If you're muted, Lincoln.
Lincoln, unmute your mic. You're too old to not to know what to do now.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Lincoln. Go ahead with your question.
I don't have a question for Mr. Thing there. He seems to be passionate about his thing, and he seems to want to do better. So there's nothing I could suggest. Like, he have all these solutions to the problems.
Well, I'm sure you have all the solutions. He's asking for collaboration and discussion to get solutions.
Correct.
I mean, I don't blame Mr. Ferguson for fighting for the industry that he is part of and that he's president. I can't blame him at all, you know. But as I say, there are certain things that, as a head, which is what we were calling the maxi taxi head to do. Only as the head of the organization had to help fix it. We had to be more determined and more, how I should put it, more hard-nosed to fix these things. Because Mr. Ferguson has hinted on several occasions this morning where the problem may lie, including foreigners who came to buy shopping and now they are dealers. How they get a license?
Wendell, we're not hearing
And
you.
your system is falling
You're very
apart.
garbled.
I don't know why.
Might
You're
not
very
be a bad
garbled,
thing.
Wendell. We're not understanding you at all.
Got some calls. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Mr. Ferguson. I want to ask a question, right? My question is, when the bell, I should say, when it scraps or whatever, or it melts down or whatever, when time to be exported, is there any way at all, to your knowledge, that maybe, just maybe, customs as well may have parts to play in these things? Because I always think, deep down inside, you know, we are a fabric country, and I'm hearing your pain, and I was one of those that said, yes, you know, scrap the industry. So when I'm thinking about it now, at the end of the day, yes, it's an industry as well that, of course, a lot of people are employed with. And there are honest people like every industry. And there are also very dishonest people. It's really not fair deep down inside also to just say scrap it. So I'm changing my answer, one. But two, do you think customs may have a part to play in these things as how they always have parts to play in things going out and, you know, turning blind eye?
Good question.
You know, I think that's I come from a particular industry, as we know, so I know what I'm speaking about turning blind eyes, and I just think, you know, it's kind of unfair. So take off my answer, Mr. R, and change it to no.
All right.
Too late.
Alan, you want to answer that question?
And archive.
Well, if that bell go into a container, because there's so much other material going in the container, that is like a pin thrown in a container, because that it's over 22, 23 tons of material going all today. So it has come like a pin. You have to flip it out to able to identify that.
So at 2 o'clock in the morning, anybody can put the bell in a container, put some more scrap iron behind it, and nobody will know.
Well, if you want to say that, that's how the laws is, and that is why we was recommending different things to our industry.
All right. Alan, all our lines are lit up still. Good morning, caller, short and sweet.
Yeah, good morning. It is clearly, in my mind, a racket from top to bottom, because you could go to the various collection points and find these manhole covers and what have you. You must know a manhole cover. Nobody's selling that, right? And so if you have it, where did you get it? And you put him out of business. That would be a warning to the next guy. But we are just letting the thing run. We are allowing this to happen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point about accountability.
All right. let me say something to you all. If you want to know how serious I is in this industry, you know what I does? I sometimes go to yards, and when they don't have documents and license and thing, I go and bring the police and close them, help the police to close them down, you know. I just go to yards, and when I see I expose them, I tell them the only thing I fear is my Lord. So
but Mr. Ferguson, let me ask you a question here, based on, because Cindy raised a very good point.
Yeah.
Cindy,
Have you heard of any occasion where, given what's happening in the country, and this has been happening for a while, that customs has opened and searched a container and found manholes or other things that should not be in there, that are clearly stolen, and apprehended and charged, called the police to charge that person who's associated with that container?
No, I never hear that.
That's very telling to me.
Yeah, it is very telling.
But, let me say this to you. I'm Trinidad and Tobago. So some of y'all who probably vote to say to scrap it, y'all would know. I would have had a meeting with certain people in the Commissioner Police Office, right? And when we would have discussed some things, and I would have hold back a little bit of something, and before we reach out, people would don't know that we was in the Commissioner Office discussing that and that. So you could know that I mentioned it in our general meeting Wednesday, that everybody know who is the people and them. And it's because of how Trinidad and Tobago operating now, I cannot go to the police and give them names. Who are the evil people operating in the industry? That's the problem we find ourselves in. We know, and most of the scrap dealers, and they know who are the evil people operating in this industry. And it's so difficult to just go to the police. Remember, they came to me, you know, and I could tell Trinidad and Tobago, they came to me and I told them, I cannot give two persons this information because it's my life, and my life could be under risk. And I am telling Trinidad and Tobago, it's so dangerous now to even give information to stop the ones that are doing the evil. Please, we're doing all what we could do as the association to stop the thing. You already know, you know. I just can't remember everything, but let me tell you something. TSCT, before this thing started, I had a meeting with the people right up in charge in TSCT. Also, they had the security. I advised them that if they don't do nothing about it, it will cause a chaos in Trinidad. And let me tell you something. We offer them to partner with them, and we will spend all the money to remove all these copper around Trinidad and Tobago. We will pay the private contractors to help us to work, and we will pay them, and they will like to hear the money we offer them to pay them. Over $10 million we offer them.
Right. Ferguson, hold a second. We have Derek Cornwall's on the line, and he says he looked up some data on copper exports. Derek, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Hi, morning, Derek.
No, this is Sunny Sampler.
Okay.
In a while.
Oh, sorry, you're on the phone. Sorry. Go ahead, and then I'll go to Derek.
Yeah, so it's not something new, you know. I don't know if you all remember the South Central Road, almost the Captiville Junction bridge was rendered useless because they stole the metal in the bridge. And also, if you're going down to Barrowport side, like Ocean Road, and you pass through Rampasar Trace to cut out on Clark Road, there are these little 10-foot bridges with railing. Partner, they cut out all the railings. So you
know what, Sonny? I passed in Maraval, right by Pizza Boy's Church's Chicken. The railing there.
Yeah, they cut off all
that is gone. I'm just saying. Thank you, Sonny. Yeah, thank you, Sonny. All the best here.
They cut it out.
All right. Derek Cornwall, morning on Zoom. Derek? All right. Yes, Derek, are you there? All right, I'm not getting Derek. Is he on mute? I cannot.
Derek has told us and it's from the U.S. Comtrade website. He says copper exports from TNT for the period 2010 to 2021. Total quantity 7,800 tons at 25.8. That's $25.8 million US for the period from 2010 to 2021, he says an average of 742 tons at 2.4 million per year. Very lucrative. That's why we have a problem. That's why we have a problem.
That is it.
And you want to know who doing that export? I could tell Trinidad and Tobago. You will watch a lot of small yards. The most that as I tell you, it's only about 4 to 5 yards do that copper, because anybody cannot pack a container of copper because it's a different license and it does not get it easy. Most people get it is the foreigners and 2-3 local, but you cannot get that copper license to export it. And what I'm trying to tell you, if you as a small yard, you cannot pack a container of copper to leave here because of the amount of money. The small yards don't have it. They don't have that money. So they're not exporting copper out of Trinidad. It's just a few. So
coupled with the fact that, as Cindy suggested before, and as you have in a meeting with the TTPS, that clearly people inside of state agencies are complicit. Clearly.
Bottom line, I think that's it, Paul. Nail on your head.
And I can't take responsibility for every agency in Trinidad who will be lapsing, and because of what's taking place in the country. People, listen to me. The people, some people don't have employment, you know. And as I tell you, you remember a long time we had dollar rescue, or let's say at a place that people sometimes was stealing in a lot of house and go and sell it to dollar rescue, and dollar rescue had to do certain things to able to stop that. It's the same kind of mentality that some of we have, that we could just go and pick up, cut down this, do this. These people sometimes, let me tell you something, they're operating and thieving, TSTC wire and stealing all kind of things. They don't belong to our organization. They just come in to eat a food. And this is what I'm trying to explain to Trinidad. If we do not regularize this industry, we will run into a problem that thousands of people might have to run out of work because y'all will feel that is only the scrap dealers is involved in doing
this. Thanks for educating us this morning. I certainly learned a lot.
Yeah.
Using,
all right.
Using dollar rescue on them as an example may not have been a wise thing, because those places shut down after a while. They no longer exist.
But all right, I'm gonna put it nice to you all now, so you could understand. Most countries all over the world, if you watch, right, Trinidad like to copy what take place in foreign. If you watch some countries to get copper, they moving big guns and do all kind of madness, you know. And they to get the copper and seal the copper. And that is why the other countries put the regulation in place to stop it. It has problems all over the world with copper. Only take a look, understand it. But the major thing is for the countries work with the association to be able to stop this step. I am telling you, if they sit down with us, I don't like promises because promises is a comfort for food. But let me tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, if they sit down and work with us, I telling you, see this problem that we having? Give us 3 months for the month and this gone. Because I know what to do. Let me tell you, I have knowledge in this industry that you all will understand. Trinidad have it right in the backyard. The people to put a stop to this right here. These people in the ministry and all over, they don't understand this industry, and that is why we're in this problem today.
So Alan,
they had a clue.
Alan, let me just ask you a question. Since you're in the industry, is it now that I'm just asking a question? If you decide to dig up and make a call here and there, you will figure out where the bell is?
Well, it don't always happen, but I could make the effort, and that is why I start from since yesterday to make the effort. We put feelers outside, yes, we just call them feelers, to make sure that we see that we can. But if sometimes, as I tell you, it has certain people that don't speak our language, and sometimes when you see them get it, it's very hard for us. Because we don't have a.
And do these guys pay more than your guys in the organization?
Yeah. We can't pay like them.
So therefore, these guys would know who not with your organization and would go for them because they get in more money.
But this is Trinidad and Tobago. This is this industry. If you paying $10 and the next guy down the road paying 12, everybody want to go and get 12. Now you have your customers when go on and do it, but majority of the people will want to get more for what items they have, and them don't care if it's a bell from a church. Them don't care if it's TSCT copper. Them don't care.
All right, we get the point. Alan, we have passed our time, so I want to thank you so much for being on the program this morning.
But I just want to let your listeners know, I as the president of this organization, I am a nonsense man, and I will never encourage this type of evil for this country. I love my country. I really love my country. I represent my country with the national flag, because some people don't know I was a national champion of Trinidad. So I love my country. I trained to fight for this country already. So I understand country before business. I understand country before other people, and that's why I'll be fighting. And I so passion to get this industry straight out. I am not no dishonest man, and this and me, I just make sure that, brothers, let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, every single day, I in this organization, I contribute food for people every day. Not a one day we doesn't make sure that people come to our yard without a food. I just work hard, and I am not no dishonest man for Trinidad and Tobago. I just trying to make this industry a better, and because of some few, they don't like it too, because they don't like how it's straight and forward with it. But I just tell them, they could never get me to pay them. I will never feed them.
Recording stopped. Thank you, Alan. All right, all the best, Alan. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch.
We had a final.
All right, buddy. All the best to you. All right,
man.
All right, we got to go into 8 o'clock news, and for the messages, I'm sorry, a couple of the guys didn't have their cameras on. I do apologize for that. All right, let's get into our news brief. All courtesy Champlain Auto Services.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Scrap Iron Dealers Association President Alan Ferguson says he's expecting a date for his meeting with the government to be set today. Speaking a short while ago on Power 102 Digital's Power Breakfast Show, he said he's looking forward to the meeting as there is just a handful of dishonest